Speaking at the Pastor for Life luncheon, which was sponsored by Pro-Life Mississippi, a massive anti-choice group, Chief Justice Roy Moore of the Alabama Supreme Court said that the First Amendment only applies to Christians. Here, listen to some of his speech.
The military. I have watched and watched. You know, I love that song that you started with, Onward Christian Soldiers, because we sang that at the United States Military Academy over and over and over, in chapel services and elsewhere. Our motto, everything about West Point was about God. Today, they have two men getting married in chapel. So, excuse my fervor. Our political system is politically correct not to say prayers before council meetings, not to acknowledge God. Oh, we do it when we get in trouble, when they bomb the Twin Towers. All the Congress line up on the steps and acknowledge Buddha. No, they don't acknowledge Buddha. They acknowledge the God of the Scriptures upon which this nation was founded. But I'll tell you this. Everybody, to include the United States Supreme Court, has been deceived as to one little word in the First Amendment called religion. They can't define it. That's what the Ten Commandments case was about. I wanted them to define it, and they backed off and just decided not to take the case. Because they can't. They can't define it the way Mason, Madison, and even the United States Supreme Court defined it, the duties we owe to the Creator and the manner of discharging it. Well, they don't want to do that because that acknowledges the Creator God. Buddha didn't create us. Muhammad didn't create us.
That's right.
It's the God of the Holy Scriptures. They didn't bring a Koran over on the pilgrim ship Mayflower. Let's get real. Let's go back and learn our history. Let's stop playing games.
Yeah, he should step down. He should absolutely step down. That's not acceptable. It's not acceptable. I don't know what the chain of command is like, especially if you are the Chief Justice of the Alabama Supreme Court. I don't know who's above him. I don't know who can make the decision to get rid of his ass. But if it's even possible, they should do it. And if it's not possible, then he should willingly step down. Because that is totally unacceptable. I mean, you want to talk about activist judges. This guy right here is the king of activism from the bench. You're going to stand up there and say that the First Amendment only applies to Christians. Well, Buddha, they didn't talk about Buddha. They wasn't talking about the Quran. You think they brought that over on that there Mayflower? Well, I got news for you, buddy. We didn't make the Bible law. We made the Constitution law. Now, this is a guy who clearly doesn't believe in the Constitution or the law in the United States of America or America itself because he totally disagrees with the founding principles. So let me read you the First Amendment, and you can decide whether or not it applies to people who believe in Buddha or people who believe in Islam or whatever the case happens to be. The First Amendment to the U.S. Constitution, quote, Congress shall make no law respecting an establishment of religion. This guy's already wrong because he's talking about establishing a Christian religion and only respecting the Christian religion. But he gets even wronger. It says, or prohibiting the free exercise thereof. Where's the ambiguity in that? Where's the ambiguity in that? There you are attacking Buddhists, attacking Muslims, acting like you're not protected by the Constitution. Meanwhile, the Constitution says specifically you can't prohibit the free exercise thereof, meaning applying to all religions. I love how they just make it up. The right-wingers just make it up. And only applied to Christians. Really? I have an idea. If the Founding Fathers wanted the First Amendment or the Constitution to only apply to Christians, maybe they would have said this only applies to Christians, but they didn't. They used the broad term religion for a reason. Okay? I don't even need to read the rest of the amendment because this guy's already proven wrong in the first sentence. But as if that's not clear enough, as if the law isn't clear enough, let's go a step further. Okay? I'm tired of reading these quotes. I've read them pretty much, I don't know, once or twice a week, every show for the last year or so. I mean, it's ridiculous how many segments we do where I have to point this out to these morons. But who said this? Quote, Christianity is the most perverted system that ever shone on man. Wow. Bill Maher? Richard Dawkins? Thomas Jefferson, founding father. How about this one? Quote, there is not one redeeming feature in our superstition of Christianity. It has made one half of the world fools and the other half hypocrites. Man, that guy really hates religion. I guess that's Christopher Hitchens saying that, huh? Thomas Jefferson. How about lighthouses are more useful than churches? That would be Benjamin Franklin. How about this one? I love this one. This would be the best of all possible worlds if there were no religion in it. That would be John Adams. How about, quote, of all the tyrannies that affect mankind, tyranny in religion is the worst. That would be Thomas Paine. In other words, Mr. Alabama Supreme Court Justice, guess what? The Founding Fathers completely disagree with you. They wouldn't give you the time of day, dude. And then last thing I'll say, that guy's actually scary. You know, he's scary because it's politically correct not to pray in Congress before a session. No, it's legally correct to not pray in Congress. And also, what do you want to do? You would just want to put your middle finger up to all the people who don't believe exactly like you? That's exactly what he wants to do. I don't even know why I'm posing it as a question. And when he said at the beginning, well, when I went to West Point, we would sing Onward Christian Soldiers every day. And we loved it. And it was all about God, what we were doing. Anytime you have a group of soldiers that thinks that what they're doing is all about God and spreading their religion, run for the hills. Because you know who does that? Al-Qaeda. Spare your outrage about, did he just compare this guy to Al-Qaeda? That's exactly what I did. That's exactly what I did. Because you can't distinguish anything from stuff that the Taliban says or Al-Qaeda says and what he just said right there. That, oh, we loved it at West Point when we're learning to be soldiers. We would sing Onward Christian Soldiers all the time. It felt good. We knew that God was on our side. Yeah, man. You and Osama bin Laden have a lot in common.